This is Joseph Blau Brewer here with ESFIworld.com, and I'm here at the GESL for day number 1, and I'm sitting with Evil Genius's Machine. Machine, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
That's good, man. Well, you're coming off a early MLG Open Bracket elimination, losing to Vibe, and then Gerbil in Losers Bracket round 2. What do you think went wrong at MLG, and how's that playing on your mentality here at GESL?
Well, believe it or not, I actually put it probably more practice coming into WCS and MLG than I have for probably the past 3 MLGs or so. Playing very consistently, getting some team practice in as well as you guys have seen. But I honestly think it was just one of those things where I wanted it too much. I put way too much pressure on myself right before such a big event, because it obviously does mean so much. WEC to be the best in your country is really what everyone kind of strives for. So yeah, it was just one of those things where I kind of collapsed. I'm trying to just pick myself up and get back out there and hopefully do better next time.
Yeah, man, definitely. Has it been tough not being able to go back to the EG house between these last 2 events, MLG and WCS, and coming here at GESL?
Yeah, I was able to get good practice in last night before this event started, but other than that, I basically just had to go a week without practice, which I mean, it does. 1 week in particular doesn't really hurt you a ton. It's not like I'm going to fall drastically far behind or anything, but it adds up after a while. And if I could before any major event, I'd always like to be practicing at least a good 4 or 5 days ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's just talk a bit about today. Today you went 0-3 overall, losing to Inori and then Golden and now Inser. How are you feeling about your play as of right now?
Obviously a bit disappointing. I never really want to lose matches. Inori, I think, would be someone I should typically lose to, but Golden, Inser really just aren't out of my grasp. And I fell in a very close series, actually, to Golden 1-2, where I actually had a very big lead at one point, game 3, but just wasn't able to really close it out. And so, kind of disappointing, but it's one of those things where it was kind of closer than it really seems. And then series 3 against Inser, I just had one really good game with him, and then just kind of lost to this 2-base timing the next game. So I'm playing decent, and unlike the previous weekend, I don't really think nerves are the factor here. I'm kind of just coming in this without practicing the past few days, so I'm not really putting too much pressure on myself. Some things aren't correct in my play, and something I just need to go back, kind of change, just come back and do better next time.
Definitely, man. Well, what can you change within these next 24 hours to make sure that you can possibly come out of tomorrow with a spot in the championship bracket? Although there is a lot of possibility that you making out is based on a lot of other people losing consecutively, just because you're 0-3 at this point.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
What do you think you can do to maybe prep in there, get 2-0 tomorrow, be 2-3, and see how the other matches go?
Yeah, obviously the big hurdle tomorrow is going to be Monster. He's just a monster, clearly. That and ZVZ is my worst matchup at the moment, and I keep hitting Zergs. But yeah, I'm obviously, as you said, I have to win my 2 matches tomorrow. Mystik, Monster, both Zergs, both my worst matchup. So it's going to be a pretty daunting task ahead of me, but I think Monster will do well in the groups. He's probably the favorite to win the group. Right. So if I'm able to take the series off of him, then I obviously give myself a pretty good shot of making it out of groups. So what I can do to really kind of prepare is just try to watch some of their games, or just do a bit of studying tonight, figure out what they do, ZVZ, what their tendencies are, and try to apply that tomorrow and hopefully get the victory.
Well, what do you think about day 1 overall so far? Just, I guess, going into tomorrow, now you have some downtime, watch some games, this and that. What do you think about day 1 overall, the beginning?
It was a bit of a rough start. I was actually the first stage match against Inori, and I probably, heard 10 minutes, for about 2 hours straight before we actually got the series started. So that was a little bit frustrating. But other than that, there's a few hiccups here and there, but it seems to be a pretty nice event, and I'm really looking forward to day 2.
What do you think about the overall format of the event and how it's being run? Were you or some of the other players aware that it was going to be group play into single elimination play afterward?
I did know it was going to be group play into a single elim. I didn't know that this was the way they were going to be picking the brackets. It seemed to, or the groups. It seemed to work out, though. No complaint there. I guess the only complaint I'd really give is bracket play is single elim. No one likes single limb
Right.
in any kind of bracket play. That's just something, you know, everyone kind of knows. But we'll have to see. You know, hopefully there's not any major upsets inside the bracket or something. But you know, you know, double limbs is always the favorite.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your time at the EG layer. How's everything been going there?
It's been going well. Lately, we've been doing a lot of team practice, and having Thorze in the house has actually just been great. He's a wonderful person to practice with. He constantly wants feedback, gives you feedback, and just wants to play a lot of games. And so I really feel he's improved my ZVT a ton. And yeah, just overall trying to get everyone to kind of be a little bit more motivated going into 2012 and putting in a lot of practice against each other. So as of recently, it's been pretty nice.
It must be nice. You had Stefano there last week as well
Yeah,
before
exactly.
MLG, so I bet that was really fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun with him around.
Well, what do you think is holding you back from being a front runner of your team? Is there anything dramatic you'd like to change about your playstyle or anything before Heart of the Swarm comes out or anything like that?
Yes. Like my fatal flaw that's always kind of been my play is that I never cheese, ever. Like I'll never, you know, I don't like kind of just putting percentages on games going into a series or something. It's just something that wasn't very common in Brood War, but is extremely common in StarCraft 2 because in Brood War, the game was so mechanically difficult that you could actually hold off a lot of cheeses just by like performing your build like perfectly, I guess, and it would just kind of counter whatever the timing was. But because timings are so more prominent in SE2 due to things like warp in from Protoss, like being able to just transfer your army across the map or warp in an army, you know, and things like that. It's just kind of difficult, and it's necessary, I believe, to actually be able to throw those sort of playstyle or that kind of playstyle into your own play. And I've just kind of refused to do so. Not really refused. I don't do it out of habit, and it's something that I need to change.
Thank you very much, man, for the interview. Do you want to give any shout-outs or anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, sure. As always, I'd like to shout out to my fans. I wouldn't be here without you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Shout out to my sponsors, SteelSeries, Intel, InWin, Monster Energy Drink, Kingston HyperX, Six Pool Gaming, Slappa, and I believe that's all of them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.